In this video, we're going to go through the keyword research process together. And today I'm going to be creating a master list for my Bachelorette scavenger hunt game that I've actually quickly created already so we can start optimizing that listing. So I'm actually going to start with Marmalade because, as I said, that is my favorite app and it's so convenient. So I'm going to start with this feature right here, My Lists. And I'm going to create a new one specifically for this product, which is the Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt. All right, once I've named it, I'll click this. And now I have created my new list and I can start adding keywords to it. So I'm going to go to search and I'm going to search for this main keyword to start with. So Bachelorette. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to add this keyword to my list. So if I had different lists, I could choose between those options, but I just have one, so I'm just going to click it here and it's being added. Then I'm going to scroll down. All right, the first thing that I'm going to do is trying to get more suggestions, so maybe 25 to start with. And now I want to start adding keywords to my list that one, have a high count because most likely that's going to have a high search volume as well. And then two, that are very specific to my type of product. So I'm definitely going to be adding scavenger hunt, even though that could be any type of scavenger hunt. I want to be using those keywords, so I'll add that to my list. Bachelorette party as well. Bachelorette games. I'm going to be adding all of these. Bachelorette game and Bachelorette game, so different types of keywords, one's in plural, the other one's not. Scavenger hunt game, Bachelorette, and then these seem to be very specific. So photo challenge, that is not included in my game, so I'm not going to be adding that. So maybe Bachelorette weekend. Bridal shower games I'm going to add, even though it's not too specific for my product, but I could see a lot of people using this game during their bridal shower as well. So printable games, definitely. Bridal shower game, party game, bachelorette ideas, even though it's a lower count. People who are searching for bachelorette ideas would most likely be interested in my product. So I could go through the different pages and add as many as I want, but I'm going to keep going because I love seeing these similar shopper searches as well. So bachelorette party games, I don't know if it's already on the list, but I'll go ahead and add. Party cups, no. Camo bachelorette party, that's very interesting. So maybe I'll actually add this to my product research ideas because maybe I'll do a version of this product that is a camo style. So I'll add that later on to my product research ideas. Same thing with the disco. So different themes for bachelorette parties seems to be really interesting. All right, so I could go through and look at all of these different ideas, but I'm actually going to go back to this later. I want to show what I would do next. After I gone through this type of keyword research, I would come to storm. And then here again, I would do a base keyword to start with. So bachelorette game. I'm going to start with a broader keyword. Okay, so I'm going to start selecting the ones that have something to do with my product. So bachelorette, bachelorette party, not a board game, so I'll get rid of that. Camp, no. So pink bachelorette, yes, I'm going to add that because there's pink in my design. Bridal shower. Okay, as you can see, I could go through and add a bunch of different keywords, and what I can quickly do is just click on save. I've saved this bucket of keywords, and I can also just click and add that to my specific list. So I'm just going to add all of these. After I added all of them, I'm going to go back to just take a look at my list so far. So this is my main list. If I click on it, I'll be able to see all of the different keywords that I've added. And the best thing is I can sort them based on any of these different categories. So I definitely want to see the ones that have the highest searches. Obviously, the broader they are, the higher searches they're going to be. And here is my strategy on how to find the most important keywords for your product. It's when you sort by searches and then you see here a check mark for long tail and still a high engagement and not red competition. So bachelorette party games is going to be my main keyword. Even though it's not specifically the bachelorette scavenger hunt that I'm also going to be using, I'm going to be betting that a lot of people who search for bachelorette party games is going to be interested in my type of game, which is the bachelorette scavenger hunt. So very excited with this list. And while I'm doing my keyword research, I'm actually going to gather keywords specifically for my product tags. And the way that I'm going to do that is by going back to search and scrolling down here and going to my top competitors. All right, and then now I'm going to take a look at their tags because Marmalade gives you the exact tags that they're using. So I love this feature. And what you can do, especially if you're not using Marmalade, is just create a spreadsheet, which is what I'm going to be using now, specifically for tags. And just start adding all of these keywords. It's a little bit more of a manual work, but it could still be super helpful to you. So I open the spreadsheet right here and I'm already going to add bachelorette party, bachelorette games, hand night games. Okay, and then I could just keep going and write down my top competitors' main tags, and I can always come back here to this list and refer to it, especially when I start increasing my product line. Yes, it's helpful to go back to Marmalade or whatever tool you're using to get fresh data. But if you want to go ahead and save some time, you can always refer back to this list here and already reuse some of these tags and keywords that you're saving. So the next tool that we're going to be using to gather keywords is going to be Etsy Marketplace. And I'll start by typing that sweet spot keyword, so bachelorette party games, because those have higher search volume, but they're specific enough to where I believe whenever someone searches for this, they'll be interested in my product. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all of these keywords, bachelorette party games, printable, instant download, and everything that applies to my specific product. So I'm going to be using Marmalade because I've already started creating a list there. But if you don't have Marmalade, as I said, you could just write these down in a spreadsheet. So going back to it, let me see. I'm going to do printable, download, instant download. So I can go back to my lists, this one, and then add keywords. So download, added, and now the same one, printable. Was it printable or printables? Printable. Okay, go ahead and add it. And then I would go on and continue to add not only these keywords if they have something to do with my specific product, but also going back to the searches and doing bachelorette, for example, scavenger hunt. So now the keyword suggestions are going to be a lot more specific to my product. So I'm not going to be adding this first option here because for my case, this is not going to be an editable file, but I'm going to add download, printable, and game. Okay, the next way that I would use Etsy right now would be to find my top competitors. So for example, bachelorette, scavenger hunt, printable. Okay, and I would just look at the best seller. So this one, also a shop with a lot of feedback. So I would open these two and I'll start analyzing all of the keywords that they're using, because as we've mentioned, if they're ranking well here is because they have a well optimized listing. So I would just go ahead and look at some keywords that I haven't added yet. So for example, email template, I don't have that yet on my list, or the text message format. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my list. So just be careful when you're actually typing keywords to your list. Be careful that you're not misspelling anything, or if there's anything that is plural or singular, this is going to count when you're optimizing your listing. So next, I could go through and look through the description as well as the other competitor, but I want to jump ahead and already show you the other tool that I'm going to be using to compile this list. So we're going to be using Google along with two different Chrome extensions, as I've already mentioned before, Keyword Surfer and Keywords Everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Bachelorette Scavenger Hunt. Awesome. And then once it loads, I'm going to be referring to these boxes on the side over here. So first, Keyword Surfer. The reason why I would suggest you to use Keyword Surfer is because it provides you with the search volume. So this is a really helpful detail that you don't get from Keywords Everywhere. However, Keywords Everywhere, the Chrome extension, gives you awesome keyword related keyword ideas. So I definitely like using both of them. And another great thing about Keyword Surfer is that you can choose the country destination that you want to analyze these keywords from. So for me, it will be the United States, but you could select a different country. So what you can do is that you can actually click here on clipboard, and on these three little dots, you can export this keyword list as a CSV file. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And then later on, I can open and add that to my spreadsheet. Or I could just copy and add each one to my Marmalade list. So for example, this one, I still don't have this keyword. It's in a different order that I've used before, but it's just the same search volume as the main one. So it's definitely a competitive keyword. So I'm gonna make sure to go ahead and copy and add it to my Marmalade list. Okay, and then going back and analyzing some of these from Keywords Everywhere. This one's very easy as well because you can easily copy. For example, let's say you want to go ahead and copy all of these at once and then just paste it into your spreadsheet. It's automatically going to populate each cell differently. And then later on, you can come and get rid of anything that it's not relevant to you. So Jenga, it's not relevant. I would delete. Pong as well. Any of these are Mad Libs. And then just leave the ones that are relevant to my product. All right, the last tool that we're going to be using today is going to be Amazon, along with the AMZ Suggestion Expander, as I've mentioned before, and as we've seen during our product research videos. So I'm going to be typing the Bachelorette Party Games. And then what I could do is copy each one of these keyword suggestions that are relevant to my product. So for example, naughty bachelorette party games, that's not how I've created my product. So it's not going to apply for my product, but fun bachelorette party games, funny, or bachelorette party games for Vegas. Love these keyword suggestions. So what I could do is just copy and paste it to my keyword list. Or if you do have the paid version of the AMZ Suggestion Expander Chrome extension, you could just download the keywords as well. But I don't, I just have the free account. So what I would do is just copy and paste this to my list. So I'm going to go back and really go through every single feature of these tools to really create this amazing keyword list. But I just wanted to show you guys this exercise so you would see how you would go about using each one of these to create your master list. And as I said, do not worry if you do not want to pay for the Marmalade app. There are tons of different tools, including other ones that I've mentioned in the previous videos, to where you could be using and just organizing them in your spreadsheet so you always have access to this, and then you can quickly refer back to it whenever you're optimizing your listing. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them below, and let's go ahead and get to the next video.